Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. For this session, let me introduce myself. My name is Ramsliha as moderator for this presentation today. And for this section, my group for group 6 will present the article presentation with the title is Code Switching, a useful foreign language teaching tool in EVL classroom. And for the presenter today is Sirhayu Sumramakra Ruslan and Esmi Rina Musliha. And then for the next slide is about introduction. For this session will be explained by Zumra Makra Ruslan. Time is yours.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So next is introduction. Okay. So the first part is about introduce the problem. So in bilingual communities all over the world, where two or more languages coexist, speaker frequently switch from one language or their mother tongue to another language or the foreign language in order to meet communication needs. The phenomenon between this situation is called or also known as code switching. So in Pakistan, English is taught as a compulsory subject and considered as the medium of instruction from school since elementary until higher education. And then this study investigated incidences of code switching among teachers when delivering the lectures in the classroom. So, according to Zanatella, in 1981, language alternation, or particularly known as code switching, is defined as the ability of bilinguals to alternate between the languages in their linguistic repertoires. And then there has been a debate in literature worldwide on the use of the mother tongue or the first language in a second language or the foreign language in the classroom. And then to the best of the speaker's knowledge, there are a few studies about the Urdu English code switching in a Pakistani educational setting. So the code switching phenomenon has been happened in different fields in the Pakistan. For example, TV programs, talk show, children's magazines, newspaper, and also in the field of engineering. And it is clear that code switching is a common feature of a bilingual speech, and it refers to the use of two languages in a discourse, conversation, or an utterance. And the study focused on the use of code switching as a language tool in speaking skill classroom with an aim to determine the role of native language in linguistic development. However, it was observed that the teachers, in spite of having a certain proficiency level of English, they still use code switching to ensure effective and sufficient learning of the students. And in addition, the study or this research also aimed to explore the efficiency of code switching in speaking skill classroom. Next slide. Yeah, so the next slide is about background of the study. So though there is a plethora of research concentrating on code switching, so far only few studies have focused on code switching in the context of a speaking skill classroom, especially on teachers' use of code switching, in this case between Urdu language and English in bilingual discourse classroom in Pakistan. Also, Pakistan in Pakistan, English has played a significant number of speakers in social, culture, and geographical contexts. Also, Pakistan, English played a significant role, especially in their education. And sorry. So also, most Pakistan students, however, most even though English has been used in the past few years in the past decades, most Pakistan students still have problems with the language because of the grammar translation method that is still prevalent or is still being used in the classroom. That's why many Pakistan students are unable to comprehend English fully or speak the language fluently, even after learning the language for a long time. And consequently, teachers began to employ or begin to apply code switching in the classroom as a means of providing students with the opportunity to communicate in the language. And so far, only very few studies have investigated code switching as a teaching tool in speaking skill classroom at the diploma level in Pakistan. Next slide. Next slide, please. So the next part is about relevant scholarship. So studies in code switching have revealed over the past 3 decades. So in here, I included 3 people that have studies about code switching. The first one is Inua in 2014. They explored or studied about the use of code switching among how subbilinguals as a conversational strategy manifested effectively to express social meanings, influenced mostly by some social variables and morphosynthetic structure of 2 languages. And then the second one is Kamisa Arifin and Shahim Rafiq Galia in 2009 conducted a research involving bilingual speakers in Malaysia during a conversation session by showing that the practice of altering or mixing 2 languages is not only common, but also serves as a communicative strategy. And then the last one is Gulsar in 2014, surveyed socializing functions of code switching in classroom situations that did not involve bilinguals but foreign language instructions, which is different from code switching in a natural discourse. And his analysis showed examples of code switching related to linguistic linguistic insecurity. Next. Next slide. Okay. So based on the previous explanation, to address the issues that is happening in the classroom in Pakistan, the present study or this study investigated the lecturer's use of code switching in an actual classroom interaction in speaking skill classes or in functional courses. In order to meet this aim, the present study sought to address the following research questions. So there are 3 research questions. The first one is, do teachers make use of code switching in speaking skill classroom? And the second one is, what is the nature of code switching used by the teachers? And the third one is, what are the functions and types of code switching used by the teachers in speaking classrooms? And also, this study is beneficial for the teachers and the students as it provides a better understanding on the nature, types, and functions of code switching and its benefits in accelerating language learnings. And also, the study would also act as a platform for future researchers to explore new dimensions of code switching as an important language tool. That's all from me. I'll give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the nice explanation, Zumra. And for the next session is the method section will be presented by method. And for the method for this article is presented by uh, qualitative method with the participant and sampling is for teacher teaching at diploma level first selection, and then they have 7 years of teaching experience is teaching TFL, and then the first instrument is this study used 2 instrument of data collection. The first is observation, and the second is auditory. And the teacher and the students in the classroom were native speakers of Urdu to develop understanding of the use of code switching and the speaking skill classroom. And for the next is the data collection and analysis. As we can see in the slide, the observation checklist or sheet here before the lecturer for the function of reading, chatting, class instruction, building vocabulary, and intimate relationship form of question before the lecturer. For the teacher A, B, C, D have checklist here, and during the lecture, function is translating a new word, explaining difficulty ideas, maintaining the zip line, making listener attentive, repeating important points, motivating students, creating example from personal life, explaining uh, culturally different concepts. For the teacher, A, B, C, D have checklists here. And for after the lecture, function for translating new word, explaining a difficult vocabulary, and explaining new ideas in different culture. Have checklist here for teacher A, B, C, and D. And then for the next is there are code switching has been used. The first is text switching. The first teacher is used uh, Urdu Urdu language for say okay or is it clear or all right. The use for this language is for focus on building solidarity and intimate relationship between the teachers and the learner. And for the second code switching is intentional switching. The most of intersential switches had the explanatory nature. For example, is the Urdu language use it, but switch in the English to say how to define the term criticism. This the teacher is used to the student when they felt is difficult to say in English. And the third code switching is intrasentential switching. For this session, code switching is the purpose and useful to explain a foreign language and with the of their mother tongue. And for example, is when the teacher want to say in English, but the student is not really say, not really understand what they speak. Therefore, the main purpose of this speech language is to associate of the subject matter on the part of the learner. And for the next is the result of this article is the first is for the teacher A. They has she explained about the expression manifest her friendly and kind nature, which give a relaxing effect of the students, and all of students left at the home in her class, and they felt closer to their teacher. And the teacher frequently use code switching and based on the students' expression. And then for teacher B is the lecture is uses code switching when the presentation skills, and then it was a piece of the important information, and she wants every student to listen and understand whenever she use is albertering. And then for the students is assessment during the lecture indicate that she had used code switching as a teaching aid quite successfully. And then for the next is for the teacher C. The third teacher delivered on the lecture on its celebration. She did not only to explore difficult terms in different culture, but also class instruction and were question. And the teacher is repeat many points in Urdu, but just make sure the students is understand with the vocabulary. And the last is for the teacher D is delivered on the lecture on the culture food. Meanwhile, for example, when she explained the difference between culture food and fast food, is very clearly by giving the example of making is not available in Europe culture, but she felt comfortable to code switching freely whenever she felt it was necessary to aid students' understanding. I think that's all for me about the method and the result. The next slide is discussion will be presented by Dr. Rahayu. Time is yours.
Okay, so thank you so much for the time that given to me. So today, I really want to apologize because I cannot do this presentation with my friends, so I have to do this record by my own self, and without my friends because I have a really bad connection, and I'm really sorry about it. So in this section, I'm going to explain a little bit discussion and conclusion of the paper because the previous presenters already explained um, about the background and the results. Here I'm going to explain about discussion of the paper and the conclusion. Uh, the wait next slide. So the present study provides insight into the occurrence and functions of code switching in speaking skill classroom in Pakistani. The analysis of the recorded lectures from four teachers revealed the prevalent use of code switching from foreign language classroom or the second language to the first language or mother tongue, Urdu, despite English being the main medium of instruction. Three types of code switching: text switching, intersentential, and intrasentential switching were identified, with text switching and intrasentential code switching being dominant. During the lectures, code switching served various functions, including greetings, building solidarity, translating new words, explaining difficult concepts, maintaining discipline, and giving counseling. This use of code switching reflects its supportive and facilitating role in the speaking classrooms, especially contexts where students lack proficiency in English. The study affirmed that code switching is inevitable and necessary in Pakistani speaking skills classrooms due to students' limited competence in English. While language while language policy may favor English as the medium of instruction, code switching occurs at all levels, reflecting its importance in facilitating communication and in understanding among students. The findings align with previous research indicating that code switching is employed as a teaching tool to enhance learning outcomes and foster a positive learning environment. Despite awareness of language policy, teachers continue to utilize code switching to cater the students' needs and improve learning success. Then the next one is about the conclusion. Based on the findings, code switching emerges a valuable pedagogical tool in Pakistani speaking skills classroom. Teachers strategically employ code switching to enhance communication, clarify concepts, and support students' learning process. Further research is recommended to deepen understanding of code switching phenomena in multilingual society like Pakistan, leading to insight that can inform language teaching practice and policies. I think that's all from our groups. Thank you so much for your kindly attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.